I'm at the old haunted house of Knox, and I am having some ghost or spirit activity around me. A friend of mine wanted me to come here and check out the activity, as it were. This place had the unfortunate events that clouded this once beautiful home into a new, yet dark background. There are many spirits that have been said to stay here and haunt the property. I had gone through the house with some voices and some sightings, and I thought it was going to be a bust. I walked around the first and second floor, and I heard some voices and knocking as well, and then the door shut right away, right in my face. I heard a laughter from the opposite end of where I was, and I booked it to that area just to be able to catch what ran away. I had some luck with the shadow and the motion sensor lights that were in the two rooms. I could tell that the entity went to the furthest rooms because I could hear laughter. And the dim bulb light up in a portion of the room and looked like a beacon in the dark floor. From the downstairs, I could hear a radio come on, and it was set to loud as hell. It was the radio set that I had, and started playing the tape that I had in. I recorded the old Woofy show every night, and have cassettes to play back in case I missed a show. So this was what was played downstairs, and ran it to the living room with the camcorder held at eye level. I panned to the radio and zoomed in.
All right. This little piggy went to Arby's for some roast beef. And this other one wants to make you roast beef, baby, if you know what I mean.
I listened to the radio announcer and thought it was a weird way to start a show. Or could it be the entities in this house that made it into something that was bad? Because it sounds pretty ominous to me. As it goes into the next song, it is something that I haven't heard on the radio before, but I've heard the track plenty. It's Put a Spell on You by Hawkins. And that track played loud through the walls of this house and seemed to be louder than the radio that I had it in. I started from the main living room and asked a few questions that went without answer, but then again, the music was so loud it could be near impossible to hear anything. So I went over to the radio and turned it off, but that didn't do anything. I even took the tape out and still did nothing to quiet the sounds that were hammering their ways into my ears. I took the tape player / radio and took it outside to the front porch and slammed the door behind me, and still the sounds reverberated everywhere. And I yelled out, "What do you want?" And all became silent. I hear a bunch of whispers around me, and a lot of them were,
"We don't want you here. Leave. Go away. Don't let her get. Please help me. Please stop her. What have I done?"
and other inaudible sounds. I felt as if it were about 50 degrees in this house when it was just an hour ago about a balmy 80. Panned around 360 to get anything that I could, and all I could was a blank screen and a bunch of whispers. I took the old battery out of the camcorder and replaced it with a new one, and tried the camera again. The bright white screen came on to light and struck my left eye that was up to the viewfinder. I was blinded for a moment, and then the layout in front of me came into view. The tape was ready to go again, so I pressed record. Can someone talk to me? And not all of you, just one at a time. I could hear one voice come from my right.
"Yes, we are here, and we don't want anyone to help. And why won't you help me get out of here?"
I think 'cause you're dead. Sorry to say, but it's better that you know it now. And all around, I heard screaming from many different voices. I couldn't take the sound, so I ran out of the front door and into the yard. I turned around with hand over ears, and I looked inside, and there was a green glow at the glow sticks that I had broken. I could see shadows moving around inside, and I got my camera up and started taking some zoomed in shots, and I could see and people walking around in each room. And it was kind of scary, actually. Maybe I should have brought someone else here with me on this one. Dang. So I get a bit closer and closer, but I get about 2 feet away from the stairs. I pan around and get the street of the neighborhood and how everything else looks fine and peaceful, but here it's chaos inside of this house. As nice as it looks on the in and outside, it is just a bunch of ghosts that are in turmoil. I walk up the stairs ever so slowly. I creep closer and closer to the front door that is still ajar. I have to decide if I'm going to puss out or go in like a Comanche and take control of this house and run all of these spirits out. Well, as best I can, I guess. So I'm going to run these ghosts out, because what do I have to lose, really? I'm a true human after all. So I make my way through the front door and on a purpose and not going to take any crap from these specters.
Shut up!
I yell as I come through the threshold. Still voices and noises everywhere. I yell the same thing in my Comanche language, and it was a sudden silence. Silence still. I told them in my native language that I wanted to talk to them, so everything I say now will be in English, just so I can document it better for anyone else who wants to listen to this. So I continue in English. Okay, so let's get this straight. I'm just here to talk to you, and want to document everything and take down all the information I can down, and I want you to answer. No tomfoolery, but normal conversation. The figures are hiding from the main spirit that seems to be in control. But I had to tell them that there were livings coming here, and that they were going to be occupying this house, and that everyone here now is dead, and they need to move on or out of the way of the house. Old Pete, as I call him. You know, that bully from the Mickey Mouse cartoons? So Old Pete is here making everyone scared and doing whatever he wants them to do and be in fear all the time, forever. I went to each room and did some questions. As I went to the dining room area, I could hear some footsteps, or rather a foot dragging, right across the floor. I could see a shadow or something on the floor move from right to left, right behind the fireplace. I walked over to the fireplace and went to the left of it so I could see if there was anything walking around, and as I closed in, nothing. Not even a drag. Who's here? I asked. Don't be afraid, you can talk to me. I'm actually here to help if I can. I could hear a faint voice through my headphones. Come closer to the object to hold in my hand and it can hear you, and hopefully see you as well. I hear the whispering get louder, and then in a scream, to where I had to take off the headphones because it was so loud. Okay, that'll do, Ghostly, that'll do. Thank you. So try not to blow my ears out again, and let's see what you have to say. I clumsily put my headphones on, and as I get them close to my ears, I can hear talking and not yelling this time.
Grandmother has two people here. One of them wants to kill us and the other one wants to love us. We don't know which one to listen to because we are scared of her.
I can hear this whisper and am floored because dang man, this is wild. Well, stay away from both of them, I say. Is there anyone else you're afraid of? I ask.
Yes.
Well, who? Where is he? I ask. And really wanted to know because this is getting exciting. I reach for a small flask of holy water in my back pocket and start to sprinkle it over myself in hopes it will keep the big bad wolf away. One can dream. I don't hear anything from the voice that was talking to me, but I hear a low, deep breathing starting to walk up right behind me. Jeez. I sighed. I should have stayed with my back to the wall. Lesson learned. I turn around quickly and toss some holy water in the direction of the breathing, and I could hear a yell from whatever it was. I slung the water a few more times, and with each splash of this wondrous water, it seems to keep it at bay. I also thought ahead and had an extra flask of water in my back pocket. One can never be too careful, especially with the beings of this other realm. So as I moved backwards away from this being, it started to form into a solid shadow without any features to really see. Just a solid mass of darkness that soaks up any light that comes its way. I kept my camcorder as still as I could and couldn't really look into the viewfinder to see if I could catch this on video, but I was in high hopes, and throw in some apple pie in the sky hopes with that as well. As I looked towards the end of the dining room, I entered from there, and there was very little room to run away or hide behind, so I focused on my right side, where it led to the bathroom and to the stairs, and to the other rooms on this floor. I decided to run to the exit via the right side so I could just cut around the stairs and make a beeline for the front door that still stayed open. I get to the stairs and start to run down to the door, and it shuts on me. I turn around as fast as I can and slink some holy water because I knew this was a possibility, and it was only a microsecond of thought that went through my dome. I could hear more yells as the holy water hit the bean, and I ran through the dining room into the kitchen where the back door was. I had unlocked it earlier and rigged it with some duct tape to where I couldn't shut it or be locked. I ran to this wonderful and beautiful exit, and I opened the door hard, and it slammed into me as I was running out. I ran down the wooden stairs and down into the yard, kept my head on a swivel, and kept looking at my right as I ran. I saw nothing following me, so I slowed my pace down and then stood there gasping for breath. I looked to the windows and saw minimal, but I brought up the camera and could see some figures in the windows. Two of the figures to the left were banging on the windows as if they were screaming for help, and to the right was another figure that was solid mass and couldn't see much but complete darkness from the window. No drapes or black wall or anything else that would have been visible. I looked down to the first floor windows and saw nothing. Wait, I see something go from left side of the living room towards the right side of the house. And it looked as if it were a woman because they had long hair and all. I saw through the next window the figure go through. I looked at the last window, which would have been in the kitchen, and nothing. So I looked upstairs to the bedroom windows and didn't see anything. I panned to the far left room and saw the figures that were banging on the windows starting to look behind them and run out of sight. I decided to not just stand there like an idiot, but try to help these spirits find some peace. So I booked it to the back door and ran inside and ran into the kitchen and to the upstairs and took them two at a time. And I was at the second floor in no time. I ran to the bedroom that was to my right. I went there and there were screams, and as soon as I walked through the doorway, there was silence that echoed away into nothing. I turned around slowly because I could feel the hairs on my neck stand up. Because I saw the doorway to the room, I walked backwards until I met the wall. I saw the figure come towards me, and then all of a sudden, there was a complete darkness and then a dim light of what the room had been years before. The scene unfolded in front of me, where there was a bed in the room, and it's furnished. And in the bed are two kids. The only sound in the room are the kids breathing. The next sound I hear is a creak of the door, and I look up to see the door open up, and there's a woman there standing in the doorway, and there's something in her hand. She stands there for a moment, and when she moves, it's as if she were glitching, or just like a robot, with someone else controlling the body. She is looking forward at the kids in bed, and I bring up the camcorder to my eye, and I zoom in on the woman. From the glance at the children, her eyes were drawn to me, and she looked up to me so fast, it looked like she was fast forward. She grinned, and she looked back down at the kids that were viewable through the viewfinder. She moved over to the bed and did the deed. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was wanting to make sure that I was getting it all on tape. And it was just so horrific, I could feel myself getting nauseated. I looked away from the gray image in front of my eye, and the screams died down in the room and went black again. Silence. Darkness. There was an empty room. No figure blocking the door. No shape or figures in the room with me, as if they had just disappeared. I went through the other rooms, and it was as if the night was just done. And well, I guess it was. There's a lighter feeling to each room that I go into. I don't know if it's on film or not, but some of the personal experiences are spot on. So I finally finished up the night around 4 a.m., so it's been quiet, because I've been at it a while, and the activity seemed to die down about half an hour ago. I went home and passed out after some grub, and we'll look at the footage in the morning. I turned on the TV, and I started the camcorder, and I watched eagerly. I caught everything that I could see with my own eyes, plus some extra that wasn't visible. Everything that I saw and experienced there was on the video, and not really much else besides that. So I went to bed that night with my radio on and able to catch up on some Woofy Live tonight. I drift away in thought, and then the man himself warms up the speakers with his voice.
Now, all right, baby, we want to make sure this equipment is running right, nice and neat. Yep, seems to go ahead pretty good. And now we can hear this next tune real clean and beautiful. So put your listening ears on, and let's get down, baby.